Here we have a word problem on ratio. Let's read the question carefully to understand the information given. The ratio of the price of two houses was 16:23. 2 years later, when the price of the first has increased by 10% and that of the second by rupees 477, the ratio of the prices becomes 11:20. Find the original price of the two houses. Here we have two ratios. So both the ratios are the prices of two houses. So the first ratio 16:23 is for price of two houses originally. The second ratio 11:20 is the prices of two houses 2 years later. But we have to find the original price of the two houses. So we have to use this ratio 16:23 to find the price of the two houses. We can guess the original price of the two houses using this ratio 16:23. So it's very simple to guess the original price of the two houses from the ratio 16:23. We have to multiply both the first term and second term by the same number x to assume the original price of the first house and original price of the second house. So the original price of the first house is 16x and the original price of the second house is 23x. So already we have seen whenever we want to get the original quantities from the ratio, we have to multiply both the terms of the ratio by the same number. If we do not know the number by which we have to multiply the first term and second term of the ratio, what we have to do is we have to multiply both the first term and second term by x to assume the original quantities. So here the original quantity is assumed to be 16x. The original price of the first house is assumed to be 16x and original price of the second house is assumed to be 23x. Once we find the value of x using the other information, easily we can get the original price of two houses. That is, we have to multiply 16 and the value of x, 23 and the value of x. Okay, now 2 years later, so the price of the first house, that is called new price. New price of the first house is equal to the original price 16x plus increment. Increment is 10%. 10% of the original price, that is 10% of 16x. Okay, let's calculate what is 10% of 16x. So 10% of 16x, to know the 10% of 16x, we have to multiply this 10% and 16x. 10% is 10 divided by 100 and it has to be multiplied by 16x. So that is 160x by 100. This is equal to 1.6x. So 10% of 16x is 1.6x. Therefore 16x plus this is equal to 1.6x. And when we add these two quantities, that is equal to 17.6x. So this is the price of the first house of 2 years later. Let's find the price of the second house. That is, new price of the second house is equal to the original price 23x plus the increment, that is 477. So this is the new price of the second house. What is the ratio between these two new prices? 17.6x is to 23x plus 477. So this is the ratio between the price of two houses 2 years later. But the ratio between the price of two houses 2 years later is already given in the question, that is 11:20. So 11:20 is the ratio of the price of two houses 2 years later. So we can equate this ratio to 11:20 because both the ratios mean the same thing. This ratio, both of them mean the same thing, that is the ratio of the price of two houses 2 years later. We have to solve for x in this equation. Okay, so to solve for x in this equation, what we have to do is we have to write both the ratios as fractions. So 17.6x divided by 23x plus 477 is equal to 11 divided by 20. Okay, now let's do cross multiplication to get the value of x, to solve for x. So I'm going to multiply this 17.6x by 20 and 11 by 23x plus 477. So 11 times 23x plus 477. Okay, when I multiply 20 and 17.6 x, it will be 352x. We can use the calculator here, and now we have to distribute this 11 to 23x and 477. When I distribute 11 to 23x, that is 11 times 23x, it will be 253x, and when I multiply 11 and 477, it will be 5247. Okay, now to solve for x, I have to get this plus 253x to the left side of the equation. Then we get 352x minus 253x equal to 5247. So this is equal to 99x equal to 5247. So x is equal to 5247 divided by 99. So we get x is equal to 53. So now we got the value of x, that is 53. Okay, let's go back to the original page. The original price of the first house was 16x. So 16x means 16 times the value of x is 53. So when I multiply these two, I am getting 848. So this is the original price of the first house. Okay, in this one 23x, 23 times 53. Okay, when I multiply these two, I am getting 1219. So the original price of the first house was 848 rupees and the original price of the second house was 1219.